In this section, we are going to learn all about layers. Now, in Photoshop, layers are basically like a stack of images on top of each other. We can make adjustments to each individual image, but as a whole, they make your composition. If you have an area of an image cut out, then you can see into the layer beneath it. To illustrate this point a little bit better, I have created a masterpiece out of construction paper right here. In this artistic masterpiece, each of these elements represents a different layer. So we have our background layer, which is just this blue page. Then we have these clouds. Each of these is a different layer. We have our rainbow, and we have some trees. Now we are going to recreate this image in Photoshop, but instead of cutting out construction paper with scissors, we are going to place these elements in as layers. So I've created a downloadable file for you called Layers Paper Cutout. What I want you to do is open up Photoshop, and we are going to open everything in that file by going to File, Open, navigate to wherever you've saved that download, select all of the images, and click Open. These will now open as separate documents in Photoshop. And you can navigate between the documents up here in these tabs. Or, because we have so many open, you can click on these arrows to the side and see a list of all the documents you have open. I want to start by going to Blue Sky. So follow me there. And right here, we can see if we open up our Layers panel, we have one layer in this document. It's a background layer because when you open up an image in Photoshop, by default, it opens as a background layer. This is just a type of layer that can't be adjusted. We want to adjust it, so let's click on this lock icon and we'll convert it to a normal layer. Now, click on the layer name and we're going to rename it to Blue Sky. Click Enter. Now we have a layer called Blue Sky. We need to change the rotation of this because right now we're seeing a portrait style image, but we want to make it landscape. So let's go to Image, Image Rotation, 90 degrees clockwise. This will rotate our image as a whole. Now you can see that when I scanned in this picture, there's some edges that we don't really want. So let's just go to the crop tool and bring in the corners a little bit. Click to accept, and here we go. So now this is the foundation of our entire composition. We're going to recreate it on the construction paper as we create it in Photoshop. So let's bring all of these layers off. This is what we have in Photoshop, and you can see right here represented on the construction paper. So next, what I want you to do is go to Rainbow. Find the document that says Rainbow, or go to the arrows at the side, find Rainbow. Now because we have the crop tool open, it's open in this document as well. Just click the Move tool to get rid of that, or click V on your keyboard to get rid of that. What we want to do is we want to get this layer here into this document. We'll do that by clicking on the layer icon and just dragging it over to the tab that says Blue Sky. Bring it down until you see a white border around your work area and let go. Now, this has been placed as a new layer in our document, and you can see that we have two layers down here in the Layers panel. Before we move on, let's rename this Rainbow just to make sure that we're organized. Now, I'm going to recreate what we've done on our construction paper representation. We've just taken this image and put it on top of our blue page. I want to scale this up a little bit so it fits a little bit more how it fits on the construction paper. So just click Control T to go to your transform and then scale up the rainbow. When you scale an image, you can do a freehand scale like this and you can kind of warp it a little bit. Or if you go Control T and hold down Shift, it'll keep the original proportions of that image. So right now, no matter what I do, it's gonna stay the same shape. So let's scale it up a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Just click to drag and place it right there. can click the check mark to accept it or click enter. Now we have that layer in the right position. Let's take a look at this. You can see on this little icon, we have the rainbow, and then behind it, we get this little checkerboard pattern. That in Photoshop means that an area of your image is transparent. So if we turn off both of these layers by clicking on the visibility icon, you can see that when nothing is showing on our document, we see that checkerboard pattern. Again, that means that that is transparent. So if we just turned on the rainbow, we'd see the rainbow and the transparent areas. We can turn on the blue sky underneath the rainbow, and now we see the blue sky and the rainbow. Nothing in this image is transparent. Let's go to that rainbow tab and close out of that document by clicking that X. Now let's bring in our clouds. So we'll click on Cloud Big, click on that layer icon, drag it to blue sky, and let go. Now let's position it where we want. And in our layers panel, let's rename it Cloud Big. Press enter to accept the change. Now let's exit out of Cloud Big and go to Cloud Medium and do the same thing. There's another way you can transfer a layer from one document to another. Instead of clicking on the icon here, if this layer is selected, we can just click on it in the document and drag it over. Again, bring it down into the document, let go. Now it's there and we can move it however we want. I'll rename it Cloud Medium. Now let's just place these how they are in our Photoshop document so we can stay up to date. Perfect. Now we'll bring in Cloud Small. Same thing, just bring it up there. Cloud Small. Put our small cloud there. Now let's exit out of both of these. We just don't want the clutter. Let's go to Tree Big. Again, we can click here, drag it in, put it on our document. Now place it wherever we want. We'll rename it Tree Big, and we'll exit out of that document. Let's go to Tree Small. Again, we'll just click and drag it over. Oh, I have some clutter here. So you see that I couldn't drag it over because I have some clutter here at the top. So I have so many documents open that when I try to drag it over, I couldn't see blue sky anymore. What we could do is we could just bring this tab over, and now if we go to blue sky, we'll see blue sky here, and we'll see Tree Small just a couple documents over. So now when we click and drag, we can just bring it right on top there. Let's bring that down and let's name that Tree Small. Exit out of Tree Small right here. And for now, that's all we're going to do. So let's take a look at all of our layers. If we want to see them all together, we can drag our layers panel up over to the side here. Just get a better view of all of our layers. I'll bring these panels in a little bit. Okay, so now we have 7 layers open in our document. They're all named and they're all in the right place. Let's see if we can adjust the order. I'll put these in here to update our construction paper version. Now, originally I had this cloud behind the rainbow. I want to move it behind the rainbow because I just think it looks better. To do that in Photoshop, all you have to do is find the layer you want to move, click on it in the layers panel, and drag it to the right position. In this case, below the rainbow, but above the sky. Let go, and you can see the changes have updated in our document. If I wanted to do something crazy like bring the rainbow to the very front, in front of these trees in this cloud, I could do that by arranging it in the layers panel in the same way. I'll bring that to where it was because that's not a change I want to make. Now all of these other layers are where I want them to be. If I bring my blue sky layer, because it covers the entire image, whatever I put that in front of will be covered and we won't be able to see it at all. If you have a layer that completely covers your image, you won't see anything behind it.